sedimentary rocks are formed from bits and pieces of sand and silt and organisms too. And so this is where the biology comes in. And a sedimentary rock, that's what sedimentary rock is. In Lake County, we have a sedimentary rock called the Franciscan Complex. And it's not from here. A lot of the rocks that are in Lake County aren't from here. They were brought here from the ocean and from giant plates on the surface of the earth, crashing into one another and diving under one another in this process called plate tectonics. And so our sedimentary rock, our most famous sedimentary rock, is called the Franciscan Formation. It's named after everybody's favorite city, and that's named after everybody's favorite saint, St. Francis of Assisi. It's not the last saint we'll have tonight, but sedimentary rock is old. It's about 130 million years old from the time of the dinosaurs, from the Jurassic. And these are the rocks that you see when you're in Lakeport and you're looking across the lake to Nice and Lucerne. These are the basement rocks. And with that mix of the sedimentary rock from the bottom of the ocean, scraped off the bottom of the ocean and pasted onto the North American continent by plate action, there's also some metamorphic rock. So you go over there to the left, you see the metamorphic rock. Our most famous metamorphic rock is serpentine. And people come to Lake County just to see our serpentine. It is the state's rock. So this is the state rock of California, the serpentine. And it is formed from seawater interaction with the oceanic mantle. So this is rock from 6 miles down, 10 kilometers or about 6 miles, brought up, thrust onto the shores of California as California built up. And so this is serpentine. It's kind of tough for plants to grow in. And so what this does is it causes an additional source of tourism. Because this is such a challenging rock to grow in, it encourages a unique fauna. And so Lake County has a unique flora, I should say, a unique flora, unique herbs and plants that are found only here. And that's kind of a draw as well. The most obvious rock we have in Lake County is igneous rock, and this is volcanic rock in our case. And I think the sterling example is dacite. And dacite is what Mount Canocti is made of. And this is rock, igneous rock is formed from molten material called magma. And we live in a zone that is very close to the magma underneath us. So the Earth's crust, the solid crust, is kind of thin in Lake County. And that leads to our volcanic action. If we could go to slide number 3, I can show you how these motions play out in this. Here's a map of North America, and you can see the dot, that's Lower Lake, okay? And that dot, next to that dot,
oh, Harry.
It is a sliding motion where the North Pacific plate slides northwest and the North American plate slides southeast, causing earthquakes, causing uplift, the formation of basins, and also volcanism. And volcanoes arise along the San Andreas plate because of cracking. It's not really a single fault, it's a swarm of faults, and Lake County is included in the swarm. So we get uplift, we get volcanism, and we get basin formation. The 3 crustal plates, the one out in the ocean is the North Pacific plate. The one that Lower Lake is on is the North American plate. And then there's a Gorda plate, a little triangular plate off of Oregon and Washington. And that's about to disappear because the material on that plate is being thrust under the North American continent. California comes from a tree that is scraped off as one plate slides under another. Dean Inderland described the formation of California as someone sliding a pizza under a door. And when you slide a pizza under the door, the crust makes it underneath, but a lot of the topping gets left behind, and that's where we live. Next slide. This would be number 4. You're doing great. You're doing better than I did. This is great. So this is what happens as part of the action in the San Andreas Fault, is that as the fault slides along, depressions are made. And I hate to tell you that you live in a depression, but what happens is that in a right lateral fault, which is what the San Andreas is, motion is always to the right of you. So there's the San Andreas Fault. It's slipping along, regardless of which section I'm standing on. When I look at the fault, when the big one occurs, the block of material in front of me slides to the right. In such faulting action, when it moves on a curved earth, on a spherical surface like the earth, there are drop fault slices that form. Now, this is important for the main tourist attraction of Clear Lake, and that is Clear Lake itself. And Clear Lake exists and continues to exist because the San Andreas Fault and the auxiliary swarm of faults that surround it continually slide, continually drop the bottom out of these basins. These basins include a valley, Big Valley, Tamales Bay. All throughout Northern California, there's these depressions and slits that fill with water in some cases, and Clear Lake is one of them. So Clear Lake, despite all of its problems, is not going to die. It's got biological problems, and all kinds of overproduction, but it is not worried about its longevity. As long as the San Andreas Fault is slipping on the average of 3/4 to 2 inch here, there'll be down faulting, and Clear Lake will survive all of us. If I could have the next slide. What might is risk, and mainly volcanic risk. And we worry so much about fire that people have finally gotten to the point where we've stopped worrying about volcanic eruptions. And I guess that's good. Here's a map of California showing volcanic risk. And you need to know that all of this on the west section, our little yellow circle there, that's Clear Lake, is a high volcanic risk because of volcanism associated with the San Andreas Fault. And all that activity comes up from the south. Like a lot of crazy, exciting, almost scary ideas, the San Andreas Fault was born of Southern California. So this is something that the Southerners have sent us. And all of the volcanism, the further north you go, the younger the volcanoes are. So one thing you can tell people is that our volcanoes are some of the youngest in the state. Oh yes, there's some very active ones up north where those red dots are, but along the coast, we have fairly young volcanoes. They're about 500,000 years old. And you can say to people, and be telling the truth, that the lake is older than the hills, because Canocti and many other of the hills around us that are volcanic are about 500,000 years old, and the lake is close to 1 million years old. So it's an old lake surrounded by young mountains. Let me have the next slide. This is great, doing a great job. This is the Clear Lake Volcanic Field. And it's the northernmost Clear Lake Volcanic Field is the northernmost volcanic field in that string of fields associated with the San Andreas Fault. And there are volcanic fields going from here, Clear Lake, all the way down to the Pinnacles in Monterey County. Ours is, of course, the youngest, and ours is the most interesting and the most varied in the igneous volcanic rocks that are found here. So there is a gradation of rocks. A geologist or someone traveling with a geologist would be treated to an amazing array of pretty rocks, starting with basalt, which is heavy in iron, magnesium, and calcium, and ending in rhyolite, which is heavy in aluminum, silicon, and sodium. Why this matters to geologists and to us is that all of these different rocks, when they're molten magma and lava, have different explosivity and different viscosity. So depending on what comes out of the volcano, there's varying degrees of danger. The silica end is generally more explosive and bursting. Rhyolite is snazzy igneous rock and locally important to us because it's so full of silica that it forms glass. And rhyolite glass in Lake County has 3 names. I call it rhyolite glass because I'm a scientist. You might call it obsidian because you've heard of that. And if you're haven't heard of that, you could just call it bottle rock, which is what the Kelsey villains do. So bottle rock, obsidian, rhyolite glass, all the same thing. And what it is volcanic material that's cooled into glass-like substance. Also in rhyolite, county diamonds, they are quartz, almost pure silicon dioxide, and they are also a form of rhyolite. Basalt is one of my favorites. It is what forms the bottom of the ocean, and I'm an oceanographer. So when I'm in Middletown, near that purple dot there, I can look at road cuts on Highway 29 and see an old friend, an old geological friend. The rock that's not from the bottom of the sea, but that is very similar to that is formed at the bottom of the sea. In that same area on Highway 29 on your way to Middletown, there's some very, very good road cuts that show the serpent, this metamorphic rock that I mentioned before. So there's 2 or 3 road cuts where you see greenish gray rock, and that's our metamorphic rock lady. Next one. It says my internet is unstable. Can you still hear me? Good.
Yes.
Okay. Now, biggest and most famous chunk of igneous rock in Lake County is Mount Canocti. And it is the queen of the Clear Lake volcanic field. So I've drawn it here, and to prove that only Allah is perfect, I screwed up on the ends of Wright and Howard Peak. You need to reverse those. The highest is Wright, I drew it right, but the number associated with Wright is 4286. And the number to associate with Howard Peak is 4229. This is the view from the town of Kelseyville. Of course, the mountain looks different from every angle, and that's one of the things to notice as you travel around the county and to point out to people. This is a composite dacitic lava dome. Each of those words tells us something about what happened when this was formed. It's composite in that it's not just one volcano, it's at least 5 and possibly even 10. So it's a composite of separate eruptions that occurred at tens of thousands of years apart. It's dacitic because it's composed of dacite, and it's a lava dome because the eruptions were generally smooth eruptions that are to be compared to someone squeezing a tube of toothpaste. So if you can imagine a gigantic tube of paste, each one of these eruptions was like that kind of release. Canocti has neighbors, and I was very surprised at the altitude of the neighbors. These neighbors are older because they're to the south. And one of the things I wanted to get is that the further north you go, the younger the volcanoes are. So Canocti is a youngster. about 500,000 year old, and Cobb is older. It's about 1,000,000 years old, and St. Helena much older than that. So the further south you go, the older volcanoes are. These are all volcanoes. And to my amazement, Cobb is higher than both Canocti and St. Helena. So when you travel in your car, once you're over Cobb, it seems like you have to get over the bigger mountain. True. Cobb is some 400 feet higher than Mount St. Helena. And of course, a little younger as well. That's Mount Canocti and mountains in its neighborhood. If I can have the next slide. This is your time, and this is the timeline for what? It's the timeline for the Clear Lake volcanic field. So each volcanic field from here, the one for Bissa, the one for Moraga, the one for the Pinnacles, would have its own timeline. And to put this in perspective, the 4 activity periods, the oldest activity period from 2.1 to 1.3, I want you to associate that with Berryessa. Berryessa is included in the Clear Lake volcanic field. The episode of eruption from 1.1 to 0.8 million years ago, I want you to associate that with Mount Hanna. Mount Hanna is about 1,000,000 years old. And if you don't know where Mount Hanna is, it's the lump that you have to get across before you get to the lump that is Cobb coming from Kelseyville. The time period between 0.65 to 0.30 years, 0.30 million years belongs to Mount Canocti. Mount Canocti, 500,000 years old, and a span of 100 million years in all those 5 major eruptions. Then a very mellow, but still interesting time from 1/10 of a million years to 100th of a millionth, 10,000 ago. We have some minor eruptions and lava flows, and this is the red rock mines. The one in Clear Lake Oaks, that red rock mine, and the one near my house on Point Lakeview Road between Jago Bay and Lower Lake, that was an eruption of about 40 at the most. There's even a possibility that 10,000 years ago, there was the addition of this red rock. It's my favorite rock, but it is red, which is unusual because it interacted in its flow with oxygen-rich water. And when that happens, it takes on a red pigment. This is an important local industry, the mining of the red rock. The red rock finds itself in a lot of interesting places, including the infield at Stadium. So it's found a lot of useful uses. If I could have that next slide.
Hey, Dr. Lyons, you were breaking up. Can you just say that again where it sounded like it's at a ball field?
Yes, at the AT&T Park, or is it now Monster Park? The infield has a mix of that red rock, the Point Lakeview mine. So it's one of the famous uses for the red rock.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. You're not going to get what you need to be a geological tour guide from what I've gone through. But there's this lovely, lovely book, 20 pages on the internet, written by Dean Enderlin. And Dean is the geologist who is at the Homestake mine. He helps the Resource Conservation District every spring when we talk to 4th graders about. You might enjoy a Sunday afternoon on reading this geological field trip for teachers for Clear Lake and its surroundings. If you want to have me send you a copy, you should email me at lyons.att.net. So that's just my name, Harry, lyons.harry@att.net. I will we'll send this little booklet to you. It's a lot of fun. And so is Dean. And when I see Dean, I'm reminded that science is people. It's facts, but more importantly, it's a procedure for looking at the world. And then more importantly, for the people who pursue it, it's other people and an enjoyment of those. And I hope someday you get to meet Dean Enderlin, that you might thank him for writing this guide and for everything else he does. I had the opportunity to meet people who are unraveling much of the information that I talked to you about in terms of plate tectonics. And so, so I wanted to finish by singing a song about those people, and including the Soviets. I got the chance to work with the Soviets, and so this is a Russian song. And I will, if you could stop sharing the screen and put me back on.
Oh,
There I am.
You're on.
Okay, there I am. Am I on?
Yeah.
You are.
And all right, so this language is called Dark Eyes in French. In French, this song is Les Yeux Noirs. And in Russian, and you may have heard it in Russian, it's Ochi Chornya. So if you're ready, it's of course got geological lyrics tonight. Each time those plates move, we see the trench groove, the deep seduction, perception. Builds California's mountains high, below with granite and above with basalt. The triple junction fulfills a function, cracking cross lockjaw inside a jigsaw. Now it is far too late for the Gorda plate. It's about to be swallowed up by Oregon. Now don't you blame St. Andreas for motion scandalous. He never flinches, moving every year 2 inches. Clear Lake will survive all of us with drop fault slices. It's always sinking and turning down that old Green Lake. The Russians thought it right to use dynamite. They were maniacal, but they're reliable. And the ghost that made them tick, Comrade Mohorovichik, he had an endless quest for heredity. Oh, Chichornya. Here's my 20 minutes, it's up. Oh, Chichornya. Oh, Chizigucha. Oh, Chistratsvia. И прекраснее, как люблю вас, как боюсь я вас, снадо видел вас, я винит добрый час. Thank you, everybody.
That was awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
bravo.
I made it, and I was only 20 minutes. Well, 21 minutes.
Great job. Thank you.
It's always so much fun to have you, Dr. Lyons. Thank you for being here.
All right, you're welcome. It's fun being here.
That's so special. Does anyone have a question for Dr. Lyons?
This is Terry. I don't have a question, but I do want to recommend the field trip guide for geology here in Lake County. So I don't know if I want to admit this or not, but the Big Valley District AVA and Kelty Bench AVA were a couple of pieces that I had a big hand in. And I have to say that I used that field trip guide and many quotes from it as part of writing those petitions. So yeah, I can't recommend that enough. I drove up and down Highway 29, I don't know how many times, trying to find the road cut that was referred to. So anyway, very cool.
Awesome. Okay, Michael has a question.
I was actually going to ask about that road cut myself, and as a photographer, any other places that you could point out that you think that, oh man, you better go take some pictures of that.
Yeah, the road cuts, there's 2 of them, and they're between Hidden Valley and Middletown, right by the old glider port. I don't know or not, but there's a big hill there, and there used there, and that's what you need to look for. It's going to be grayish, greenish, flaky rock, and that's what you need to look for. And the other place is north of Lakeport on your way to Upper Lake, on the left where the jail is. There's a huge area without any trees, and the reason there's no trees is that any outcrops there will be serpentine as well.
Perfect. Okay, Judy.
Michelle, okay, for Harry, what about what looks like a road cut on Highway 20 headed towards Williams that's enormous? You go around a turn and it is multi-stories high. It looks like a giant rock that they just cut through. Oops.
He didn't like that question.
My question?
You scared him right away, Judy. Good job.
Oh,
I didn't mean to.
okay, maybe he'll dial back in. Oh,
This was fabulous, by the way. I
Yeah,
was
awesome.
enthralled.
just
So,
fabulous. Absolutely.
I can't wait to share the information, but I've always wondered about that enormous, what looks like a road cut in the middle of a rock wall.
Absolutely. Okay, Nancy, did you have a question or comment?
Oh, no, I was just clapping. That was wonderful. That was wonderful.
It was fabulous. Okay, we're not finished yet. Maybe I'll keep watching for Dr. Lyons to come back in. But Terry, you want to continue on?
I would love to. So now that we have told you all about the geology, or should we, Dr. Lyons has shared with you some insight into the geology of this wonderful place we call home. We
There
have
he is.
Denise from the Lake County Rockhounds group. And Denise, you're gonna have to forgive me and pronounce your name for me. Go ahead.
It's Denise Hueners.
Hueners, thank you
Yep.
so much.
You're
All
welcome.
right, Denise was born in San Francisco. She is a 7th generation Californian, which is very impressive, by the way. Her ancestors came over on the Anza expedition of 1776. Wow. She's past president of Contra Costa County Historical Society. She studied ceramics at Mendocino College. She is an accomplished ceramic artist and avid historian, and she has been looking for and collecting rocks since she could walk. I relate. She's currently the program chair for the Lake County Rockhounds, and she's been a member of that group for 6 years. And I am very excited to have her join us and talk a little bit about rocks.
Thank you very much. We've got a great group. It was founded in the 30s. There was 3 main rock groups in the Lake County area, which metamorphosed into just one. There's just one rock group now. And we meet once a month, which we're hoping to start up pretty soon because with the meeting starting up. And we have outings once a month also because of the social distancing. We can still do the outings without having to worry about this COVID stuff. And so I brought some rocks to share, and hopefully you can see them when I hold them up. This is a Lake County diamond. I guess you can see it pretty good, huh?
Wow.
Yeah. And those are found, there's a lot of places to find them on Cobb, and Perini is a well-known spot to go hunt for those. And then we've got jade, that's from Lake County also. All these rocks are from Lake County and found locally. That one's not showing up so well, I'm sorry.
Pretty.
And then we got cinnabar, and cinnabar is the product from mercury, but this does not have mercury in it, this piece here. So, but it that's the byproduct of mercury. And then we've got the mahogany obsidian, and it's not showing up very well, I'm sorry. It's a really pretty rock. I like the mahogany better than the black because our obsidian in Lake County is not very good quality as far as making arrowheads and whatnot because of the bubbles, but the mahogany is a really dense with less. And I don't know, here's a cabezon I made from the mahogany. I'm sorry, the colors aren't showing up very well. And this is what the roughness is, what you would find it looking like before it's, and then of course I've made a slab out of that one. And then here's another type of obsidian. It's called banded, and it's got the lines and the stripes and stuff in it. I guess you can see that a little bit. And that, then we have the pitcher rock with the sandstone, and this is one of my favorites too, is this kind of rock, and it's found a lot in Pewter Creek, but all over. And then the other side's completely different.
That's beautiful.
And then we have some jasper. The most common color is red, and a lot of times it has the quartz line in it. And then we have the chert, which is a sedimentary rock. And I don't know if you can see, but there's stripes in that, the sedimentary. And I have a fossil that I found on Pewter Creek too. It's a antler. And I've also liked to share some of the books that you can get. And I think everybody has seen this book. This is the one in the schools, everybody can probably relate to this book. One of the books we grew up with about rocks. And then this one here is one of the newest. This was put out in 2018. It's a very nice book with maps and whatnot to find different kind of rocks. And there's several other rocks. And so yeah, rock hunting is a great outdoor activity you can do with your family. And we have a lot of rocks in Lake County and different areas to go. There's Pewter Creek, which is a very big creek with a variety of rocks. And then we have the Kelsey Creek also. And then Cache Creek. That's a very good place to go. And, you know, kids just love to go out and find rocks, and you know, just a great outdoor activity. And we have a great group of people that we go out with. We try to go to different places all the time, and outside our county as well. But anyways, it's great. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, I do. It's Colleen here. First of all, I'm also sixth generation, and my ancestors came over on the Anza. So how about some contact information for you, so that we can exchange a few notes and maybe find out where some of those good rock hunting places are.
Okay, my email is huenersd@yahoo.com.
Thank you, Denise.
You're welcome.
Denise, we've got a question in chat. Where do you meet and what's your website?
We meet at it's the old bank building on Lower Lake. I don't have the address. It's a fairly the old bank building right there on Main Street in Lower Lake. I'm sorry, I don't have that address with me. And then our website is on Facebook, and it's Lake County Rockhounds.
Perfect.
I have a question for you. I don't know if you can, if I can do this, you can see it, but I have this rock that I found and I have no idea what it is. Can you see that?
Yeah, it kind of looks like a jasper rock from what I can see. You know, we have a great variety of jasper that comes in many different colors, and it's really common rock.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just have a question. I'm not sure who can answer it, but I was curious, what kind of rock is the Lake County diamond?
It's a beta quartz. And
Beta quartz?
Yeah, beta quartz. And it is, you know, a diamond is 10 on the Mohs scale. And the Lake County diamond can be cut into faceted like a diamond, and it's 8. It's about 8,
Okay.
8.5.
Well, I've seen it faceted at Kevin Ness Jewelers, and you can't tell the difference.
No, you can't. No, it's a beautiful stone.
Okay, I was just curious because I've had questions about it.
Okay.
So Danielle, I had these friends that loved to hunt for the arrowheads that the Native Americans made all around here.
Uh-huh.
So what kind of rocks did they use for the arrowheads? Different or one type?
Well, what they did was they traded because they used chert, and but they couldn't really use the obsidian because it's not good quality, like I said. And so they would trade for better obsidian from different tribes.
Oh,
So,
that's okay. Interesting. I knew you said that about the obsidian, so it made
Yeah.
me wonder. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
but chert was the other rock that they could make the arrowheads with. Go ahead, Melissa. Oh, you're muted. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Sorry.
Whoops.
Okay. Hang on.
Okay. There you go.
Okay. I bought 2 microphones for my computer and neither of them work.
Oh,
All right.
Melissa, maybe you can type your question
I
in the
think
chat box.
In yeah, chat.
okay.
gonna mute her. Okay. Anyone else? So Denise, I have a question. So what's your favorite rock in the area, and where do you like to go when you're going out exploring?
I really like Buda Creek because I like the sandstone rocks, the picture rocks. These ones here. I really like those. They're just got so much character to them. And those are found mainly in Buda Creek. And then the mahogany obsidian, that's kind of Kelsey Creek thing. And so those are the 2 main creeks that I really enjoy.
Fabulous. Okay, anyone else have a question for Denise? Okay,
Yeah.
here's Melissa. Hers is for Dr. Lyons. But before we get back to Dr. Lyons, anything else for Denise? Becky, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I've recently been going out to Adobe Creek Reservoir area, and the Adobe Creek difference in there has some outrageous rocks, all different colors, all different beautiful rocks, a lot of jasper, a lot of, we actually found some water-worn obsidian out there, which was kind of weird, and church, and it's a beautiful place to go out and look for rocks. So, and that Adobe Creek area is really beautiful.
Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah, and we've signed up for the Rock Hound group, and we really need to be there. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sounds good.
I'll try to post on our, we have a members only thing because we share our field trips on that one, but the Rock Hounds, I'll try to share for the meetings. So if anybody's interested,
Right.
they're the first Wednesday of the month.
Okay, I found the Rock Hound group on Facebook, and I've signed up on the Rock Hound group at Facebook, but I don't think I'm in the group itself yet. So
Yeah, not
we want to
until
get into that. So yeah, that'd be great.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're
So-
welcome.
So Denise,
Uh-huh.
I was wondering, is the mahogany obsidian, is that the one with the red stripes through it?
Yeah, yes, it is. It's black and red, and it does come in just red only.
Okay.
You can't really see the colors at all. No, you can't. Maybe the other side. Yeah. Yeah, and it tends to have less bubble, so it's very pretty, and you can do cabezons and with that.
Pretty. Okay, let's see. Okay, Dr. Lyons, question for you from Melissa. One of her favorite ghost towns is Rhyolite, Nevada, close to Death Valley. Was it named that because of the type of rock?
I would bet that is exactly what the name is from. I think rhyolite is one of our really interesting rocks here, and I think Miss Hueners would agree with me.
Yes, yep. Maybe you can answer that question that Judy had about the cut in Highway 20. I think it's very close to the Cache Creek area. Judy?
Road cut.
Yeah.
If you've been on Highway 20 headed toward Williams or even coming back, it's enormous. And it's like this giant rock wall. And I can't believe they made that. So I have to ask, is that really a rock formation?
No, that particular one is man-made. If you're on your way to Williams, it's after the S turns, and it's well before you get close to Williams, but that is a man-made structure.
How disappointing.
Well, if you keep going though, very soon when you get into the canyon where the Highway 20 begins to twist, you'll see this beautiful giant corduroy formation of sedimentary rocks slipping down, and that's natural, and that's very impressive. That's called the Great Valley sequence, and so that's that's natural. Yeah, it'll be on. It's on the canyon face, and it's a very important formation in California. It's beautiful.
Okay, I'll look for that one, but I've always wondered about that rock wall, if it was man-made or if it happened.
Yeah, it looks like a kind of plaster to me, kind of brownish, right? Medium brown color.
Yeah, but it does look like rocks, and it suddenly appears, but okay. I'll watch for the other one though afterwards.
Yeah, further along.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, anything else for Dr. Lyons now that he's back, everyone?
Yes, I have a question. Uh,
Yes.
Harry, I took a class through Sonoma State University. It was not a class, it was a deep dive. It was like a 1.5-hour program by a geologist. And she said something I'd never heard before. She said the two plates are not going in opposite directions. They're going in the same direction. This one is going faster than the other. Along
That's
San
the
Andreas.
truth.
That's the truth. Okay. Okay.
Well, why'd you say they're going like that?
Because it's the relative motion that makes them slide.
Right.
It's-
So it's not that one's going one way, one's going the other, just one's going faster.
One's going faster, and
Okay.
and I think it's in 3 million years, the city of Los Angeles will be in the same spot with San Francisco, of course.
Right. I had never heard that they were traveling in the same direction though. To me, that was like, whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, the general flow of the material underneath, the magma and the mantle underneath is flowing in the same direction, but there's some kind of asymmetry in one over the Pacific is being pushed.
Right.
Let's see, I guess it's being pushed harder. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Okay, anyone else? Man, I learned so much. Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
A lot of information tonight. It was amazing.
Yes, yes.
Good thing you recorded it, Michelle.
Absolutely. I want to watch it again now. Okay, anyone else have a question? Well, we have wonderful Dr. Lyons and of course Denise. Oh, such a special evening.
Thank you.
One more song.
All right. I think that's it then, everyone. Thank you so much. So Denise, thank you for your time. We look forward to following you guys more on Facebook. And Dr. Lyons, obviously it's such a pleasure and such a privilege for us to get to spend time with you. So thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you both very much.
All right. You're welcome. Have a good evening, guys.
Thank you.
All righty.
CTAs, woo!
Here,
Bye.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.